Hello, Internet. Gino, that Pinguino Greco here again with another episode of Deep Listens, and we are continuing our interviews of Giant Bomb Community Endurance Runners, and I'm joined today by Matthew Rorie, the boss of bosses. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
So it's another year. This time we're going for $10,000 for charity. It's a big milestone this year.
We have a lot of leeway, a lot of lead time, I should say. Lead time. I get them all mixed up. But if we promote it enough and get enough people on the chats, on the streams, hopefully we'll pull it off.
Yes. Excellent. And so this year, are you going to be streaming anything?
I am. I have been planning to stream. I've had a lot of stuff going on, but I believe at this point, my vague idea is to do 12 hours of MMOs, and don't hold me to that, cause MMOs can be really. I stream a lot of WoW in the course of my time here at Giant Bomb, even maybe a little bit before that, but MMOs can be really boring to watch unless you have some kind of focused plan. I used to do a series of streams called WoW Retrospective, and I'm a little behind on those, so I'm thinking of planning on going back to like the last 3 expansions maybe, sitting down. And a friend of mine, a roommate of mine who's living in the house with us right now, is a big WoW head, and maybe we'll try to clear out as many of those as we can. It won't be very challenging, but I always had a good time kind of talk about what the context of a raid was and what was going on at the time during WoW. And it would give me an excuse to stream some WoW because Battle for Azeroth has been just a huge disappointment, and I haven't felt like doing anything with it. So getting me back to my roots. And I also have some lovely people from the community really tried hard to get me into Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
I've been playing a bunch of that, and I'm like level 30. I might try and level up a little bit more and try to get to maybe the expansion before the community endurance run comes around, and maybe I can see if I can get into some kind of more advanced content with some community members.
That'd be dope, because my entire knowledge of the Final Fantasy XIV universe is almost entirely through the card game at this point. So apparently there are characters that they think matter. At least Square seems to think that they're important characters.
Yes. It's been, everybody keeps on saying the game opens up when you get to the expansion content. I've been going mainlining through the story stuff. Like, I have barely done any side quests at all. Again, only level 30. It's still the original game. But hopefully once I get up to something a little more advanced, I think I just need to put some work in. I have a lot of rest state at this point, so it shouldn't be too hard to get to where I'm going. That's kind of a tentative plan, but it depends on how much time I have to play. But if I've learned anything, it's that Final Fantasy XIV is a fantastic game to play while you're watching TV. So maybe that'll be my evenings for a little while.
Yeah, so what class are you speccing in Warcraft for people to see, and what class in Final Fantasy XIV?
I am a gladiator. I just became a paladin because that's one of the jobs you can get as a gladiator. So I'm a pretty heavy tank, which has been one of the tougher things about the game. It's not very exciting to play as a tank early on. You're only hitting 3 buttons most fights. And the global cooldown is so much longer than it is in WoW. I wouldn't say it's been the most thrilling time so far, but everybody speaks the world of the end game here. So hopefully I'll get a little bit closer to that before we stream.
Excellent.
Got a month, right? I got about a month.
Yeah, you've got about a month. And do you have multiple classes in WoW or multiple characters?
Yeah, I usually play as the same thing as a paladin. And that's usually what I use for running through old dungeons. If you've seen my old streams, I think a lot of them are still on my YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel. Basically, you just kind of talk through what the bosses were like back in the day, what the challenges were, what the sticking points, and kind of the lore of the dungeon or the raid. And then you go up and you hit them in one shot for the most part.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do the raid mechanics even matter when you're that high of a level?
They have changed some things around where there used to be a lot of bosses would require at least 2 players to be into a fight because of mechanics. Like sometimes if you didn't get one boss far enough away from the other boss, they'd stack up on each other and like make each other invisible. Things like that. So they've really retuned a lot of the games so that you can solo most of the old raids, but they have also did a big item or a leveling squish where you what's the word for it? Level scaling. So I haven't played a lot of these dungeons since they put the level scaling in, and I've heard they've gotten a little more difficult. But hopefully I'll be able to have a friend in the room and see what they're like. Again, it shouldn't be too much of a challenge. It's just kind of fun to go through and see some of the old dungeons. I think the last one I did was Cataclysm, the end of Cataclysm, where you beat Deathwing. So there's a whole host of raids that I could probably play through.
I've heard of Deathwing, so that means this is good and old. Yeah,
it's been really weird. I haven't even done the looking for raid stuff for Battle for Azeroth. It's been a real disappointing expansion. So I kind of want to. But WoW is always one of those things I want to play, but I just don't want to play what they're putting out right now. And even leveling characters up because of the level scaling got so much slower. It's even tough to get enthusiasm to go back and like level alts and things like that. So the game's in a real bad state. Still love playing it though, and hope it'll be a little entertaining to watch.
Awesome. So in years past, we've had either merch that has kind of fallen away from the shop on Giant Bomb, or merch that was demo, like promo merch that never came to be. Do you think that this year there might be some of that in the pipe?
Yeah, we've been cleaning out a lot of old merch, but we still have a box or two at work. So it might have to be kind of random. Like you'll get a shirt, can't guarantee a size. I can try my best. There's also plenty of those old Nighthawks posters that we have that they got dinged up because we had to sign them all, and then we shipped them back to our warehouse for shipping out, and they got dinged up in that process. So there's a lot of those left over too. So I'm gonna let somebody else handle maybe not somebody else, but if we figure out how we want to get stuff together, I definitely have plenty of posters to ship out.
Yeah, we have. Every year we've been getting rid of a handful, and eventually they will all be gone.
No, there are a lot of them. Some of them are more banged up than others, and some of them haven't been signed by everybody. So
talk it up like it's rare. You just gotta,
they are rare.
Oh, it's all going.
They're rare because I do not like the process of having to go down and buy a poster tube and then try to pack them up because it's a lot of work. So I only have enough energy to do a few each year. So those would be the big things. And then there's a lot of other. We've been giving away stuff on UPF too, and there's a lot of other weird stuff in the office to give away. So
excellent. So people keep your eyes peeled and looking at the forum announcement thread, because as donation incentives and prizes and things become known to me, we will add them to the announcement thread. Right now, all we've got announced, I think, at least as of this recording, is a League of Heels autographed copy of Smack Talk Showdown that Pat Bear will be giving away.
Cool. I will try to come up with some stuff when I'm back in. Oh, sorry about that.
No problem.
I will come back with some stuff when I get back to the office tomorrow, hopefully, and try to send it along to you. Or just, I'll try to send it along to you and clear and make sure everything's okay with people here. But anything you get from us, if it's a comic book, we found a closet that was full of comic books from Comic Vine, and I mean, literally thousands of comic books and trade paperbacks in a closet. And that's why we've been giving away some of them on streams on Giant Bomb. But if there's anything you want signed by anybody here at Giant Bomb West, happy to do it. Just let me know, and I feel weird signing a comic book that I didn't make, but we're happy to do that too.
Oh, that's awesome. So is it like from any particular genre if people don't?
God,
like
no, it's
time period?
Everything. It's everything. It was from a few Comic Vine. Well, gosh, I'm assuming it's between like 2013 and 2015, but there is just a massive amount of stuff in there to give away. So I'll have a bunch of those put aside for various special occasions. We'll try to pick out some good stuff. And also, of course, free monthly premiums are the easiest thing in the world for me to give out. So we'll have a few of those on stock too.
Awesome. So, oh man, now that you say that you've got a warehouse full of comic books, I'm just trying to think. I used to work at a comic book store for a little bit. I'm just trying to think of what the weirdest, most obscure thing that you guys might have. But
I gave one away on the stream, like the Darkness. It was the Darkness Compendium, shrink wrapped. It was worth $100. It was literally $99 for this shrink wrapped, because they made Darkness video games, and I figured I'd be a little extravagant. There's a huge amount of indie press comic books and everything like that in there. I was looking at we gave away a bunch of comic book themed ones on UPF last week. There's just a million different weird things in there, and I'm gonna try and sort out. Can't guarantee it's good. I follow comics not pretty closely anymore, but I do know a lot of the names that are still going around. But I have not heard of a lot of the people for some of these. But then there are, like, I found like most of the Daredevil run from Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev, and I was pretty impressed too. So
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a bunch of Powers comics that Bendis worked on too. So there's some exciting stuff in there, and some not so exciting stuff in there.
Did you see Pinocchio Vampire Slayer?
I did not.
Damn it! I saw that once, and I was just like, that shouldn't exist.
There are any number of wacky comics, so I'm not really sure always how they get published, but I
loved the novelty of it, and somehow the tagline wasn't "He must lie so that we may live."
Well, novelty is how a lot of these things get started, so don't wish too hard.
Yeah, and I think that's probably early enough that Snot Girl was made out, which apparently is a good comic book, but I
don't know, man. Our former editor, Comic Vine editor, still gets every Archie comic that comes out, and they are going in some weird places with the Archie universe this year. Yeah. Like Archie is a vampire now or a werewolf now. There's like medieval Archie, all kinds of weird stuff in the Archie universe. They go dark. I think there's a Punisher meets Archie comic book from a few years back. Yeah, Punisher meets Archie. I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that.
Oh, that makes sense with Riverdale and all of that, like the general edginess. The weirdest Archie brand comic I saw was Sonic the Hedgehog meets Mega Man, cross Mega Man.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like if you want to do that justice, Mega Man has to be hunting down the members of the Sonic universe and acquiring their powers by force.
Yeah.
Right? He's got to go fast.
Yeah, I don't. The whole Archie thing, God bless him for doing because when I was growing up, Archie was like, it's the stuff your grandma used to read, and she was having her soda pop at the corner store.
No.
And thank God bless any publisher in today's publishing environment that can keep their brand up to date. And obviously they have done it pretty well.
The CW realized actually they're all hot.
Yeah.
The trick is they're all hot.
There's Hot Spock now. I don't know if you're on this. I'm not sure if you're following up with the Discovery at all, but Hot Spock. I don't know if you're a Star Trek fan, but man.
I'm aware of Spock and his general lack of hotness. Leonard Nimoy was a lot of things, but, well, he had his charm.
I'm not sure when this will be published, but the last couple episodes of Star Trek Discovery have been something else. So it's been a really good season. And I'm pretty sure, I want to say I was going to say that I'm pretty sure there was a Star Trek Discovery comic book in the works. There might already be that, but I know they're bringing Discovery to Star Trek Online too. So they're, again, shepherds of the brand.
Yeah, you'll have to get Jeff to check in again on his lifetime subscription to.
I wanted to check in on the Deep Space Nine stuff. It's been tough to kind of get him to get that installed, but good for the game. Still going strong.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to the community endurance run. Do you know which day you're going to be aiming for the runs?
Like I said last year, I think I kind of let the community set up their own streams first, and then I kind of wanted to take whatever soft spots there might be. And I'm happy to do it in the middle of the night. I'm happy to do it anytime, day or night. I feel like Dr. Seuss over here, but I am not committed to any specific time yet. As far as I know, I'm free the full weekend, and we start right after UPF. So probably Friday night would be the one that I'd take a breather and try to get stuff set up. So maybe Sunday night, maybe Saturday night or Sunday morning, something like that.
All right, excellent. So people who are looking to watch Rorie's long-running MMO stream, just keep your eye on the schedule. We will fill it in because we still have people joining. Literally, people are joining like every day at this point. We're far enough out that people start reaching out to me and saying, hey, I'd like to get in on that. So our schedule, all the regulars pretty much are booked to a certain extent, but there's plenty of gaps in our schedule and plenty of flex for new people who are going to be joining. So if you still want to join, do so.
And if you ever wanted to be on giantbomb.com/chat, I don't know what the exact schedule for throwing, because we can only do two streams at a time this time around. And for me, I just don't want to overwrite anybody who's like doing something really cool or important, because my streams, I'm always pretty mellow, pretty boring, just tune on in the background. But we will be throwing this up in giantbomb.com/chat. So, and it'll also be explosive runs.
Yes, explosive runs. So the way that it works is explosive runs has, I believe, up to 4 streams that you can watch simultaneously in kind of split screen. And then there's a kind of little chat room that you can talk in. It's not quite Giant Bomb chat, but it gets the job done. And then on chat, we try to make sure that everyone who's streaming gets at least a half hour on giantbomb.com/chat. So there's a little bit of juggling. Some of the time there's only 2 people running, so that one's pretty easy. But we try to make sure someone is on chat at all times, and then we kind of divvy it up if we have to make switches between streams or something like that, so that everyone gets some time in the spotlight.
Cool. And I'll be tweeting about it from my personal account, from the Giant Bomb account. So if you're listening to this, just maybe follow me, follow that Pinguino, follow Giant Bomb, and the Duders feed too. All those will let you know when things are switching around, and we'll try to get everybody hyped up and ready to watch. I'll be hopefully, if I'm free, hopefully I'll just be in chat most of that weekend. I like watching what people do. What's the craziest thing you've heard so far?
Okay, so the crazy things on my personal front, I'm going to try and set a speedrun record. Magic Pendule: The Quest for Color, a PlayStation 2 game. I think it's a sequel to Graffiti Kingdom, kind of. Apparently, no one else tried to speedrun it ever. So my goal here right now, the record is like 4 hours and 20 minutes, and I can beat it in 3 hours and 20 easy. And I'm trying to get it down to 3 hours. But I'm going to play that game. And let me tell you, as someone who played it first when I was a child and then revisited it a few years ago, I did not expect that story to hold up as well as it does. It is lunacy. So that should be fun. I believe that Nicky Rooney will be playing, I think it's Hollow Knight with his feet.
Oh, man, no, there's no way. There's no way.
I mean, he beat Super Meat Boy, and he beat Spelunky with his feet.
Hollow Knight has so many weird, and there's no difficulty settings in Hollow Knight either. Man, that is that I would pay to watch. I need to finish Hollow Knight at some point, but good for him.
That right now is the goal. I believe that he's going to make that happen. ZP is playing Final Fantasy 13-2 for 13 hours straight, and eating vegetarian foods that he doesn't know how to eat foods. So
oh, no.
Apparently he doesn't know, he hasn't eaten them or doesn't like them. I just want him to eat that radish that he's going to eat like an apple. Radish
is fine. Radish comes with every taco you ever get around here, so it's not like it's not gonna make you repulse or anything like that.
He's apparently never eaten an avocado without hurting himself.
Avocados can be. It's a creamy texture, but radishes at least have a little crunch to them.
No, but I mean, like, he physically hurt himself trying to just take the pit out of an avocado 3 separate times.
Yep, in 3 different ways, as far as I heard. So.
It's not great. So those are some of the big ones that are jumping out, but Nicky Rooney's foot runs are always highlights.
Well, mine WoW runs, like I say, I always get a little self-conscious streaming MMOs because a lot of it's just downtime or not very challenging content. But I like doing the raids. A lot of the raid design has really held up well from the last few expansions. So, and if I get late in the night and we feel bored, we can do some actual current content. Do maybe a LFR with anybody in the Giant Bomb Guild who's on, which is always fun.
Yeah, totally. All right, so thank you so much. You can, again, check out the Giant Bomb Community Endurance Run. It's going to be April 12th through 14th. We are raising money for Pencils of Promise, a charity that builds schools, trains teachers, and sends kids to school in developing nations. And this year we are trying to raise $10,000, which is roughly what it costs them to build a classroom. So a nice round number with a nice visible goal. And if you want to donate, you can do so fundraise.pencilsofpromise.org/GBCERIX, because we use Roman numerals.
Awesome.
Thank you again, Rory.
Thank you again for having me, and hopefully I will definitely be streaming in some capacity unless I am felled by injury or something like that. So I'm looking forward to participating.
Excellent. All right. Till next time. Peace.